I'm Magnus of the New York Jedi, and today we'll be discussing the Mantis from the Ultra Sabers Company. Now, the Mantis is truly a unique lightsaber, which I'm really loving some of the features that came with this. First, let's talk about the obvious. A curved hilt. Ever since I know myself and many other people saw Episode 2, in which Dooku came out with a curved hilt lightsaber, a lot of people went, oh, that's different. And I tell you, it has a fantastic balance. Now, the curved nature of the hilt gives a very interesting fulcrum point that allows you to play with the lightsaber in a lot of different ways than maybe the standard straight hilt. Now, let's talk about the Mantis. Now, the Mantis is, I have to say, a lot of the features that came with the Mantis is fantastic. Now, let's just give the specs on this. This is their Azure Mantis. I am running a LED driver, the Emerald LED driver on this, which, for one thing, gives me an interesting pulse effect, in which I could play around with the settings and go for a low or long pulse, or much quicker, something closer out of the films. Now, the Emerald driver, which I'll also demonstrate in a little while, allows you to change your lightsaber color to any combination that you really want. If you could think of a color, you're able to change that lightsaber using the program that Ultra Sabers has available. Now, let's talk about some other features. Now, you have the ability to have two different headpieces for your saber. You can either go for something looking like this, or you could attach these metal claws to the hilt, something a little more aggressive. So if you were looking for something that had more of kind of an aggressive feel towards it, well then these claws attached to your hilt are fantastic. Now, the very neat thing with this, they're very easy and very quick to remove. You take your hex bolt, you then just simply put it in, unscrew the saber hilt, and then just with a quick little twist, you're able to pull and twist off the blade emitter that has the claws and put on one without. Now, while I have this open, I just want you to notice, within has a modular LED system. Now, for those that were really curious about how they run their lighting, one, this unit has the ability to take on any color combination. You could also go for one straight color. You want a blue saber, you want a red saber, you want a green saber without changing. That's the ability. You could also get units that allow you to remove this, your own, and plug in whatever color. So if today I'm a Jedi, I could plug in my blue or green. Or if tomorrow I'm a Sith, I could plug that out and plug in a red. It gives you the ability to really adjust the color scheme if you didn't want to go as far out as an LED driver like the Emerald driver. Now, another benefit I like about the Mantis, some of their other models, it's a static hilt, you can't untwist it, you can't take it apart. Being in the New York Jedi and Saber Guild, I'm very active with these lightsabers, we're doing a lot of shows, and sometimes wires snap. If you have a static hilt, it's much more difficult to get inside and reconnect the wires. With this, since everything is unscrewable, it allows me to go inside, repair the damage, and then go back out into play. So, let's go back to this. All I have to do is put in the new blade emitter, screw it in. It's that modular hilt system. Screw it in, put the blade in, go over to the screw, screw it back in, and now you have the same lightsaber, just with a slightly different feel to it. Now, let's talk about the design. The design is absolutely gorgeous and very, very elegant in its design. You have your choice of your blade emitters, or you can get both, or you get one, or you can get one with the holes in it and you can just screw in the talons as you wish. The blade emitter has these openings, so you get a lot of view of your blade. Also, if we go a little lower, there's a lot of drilled openings. So this allows you to really get other accent colors in your, other accent with your color along your blade. And then you have the grip here, which is silver in color, which fits very nicely in your hand. Now, the balance is really good and sits really nice along the hand. The curve actually has a texture to it, so better gripping along the texture. You have your recessed button. Then you have the bottom of your hilt, which is very neat because you have over here, it kind of has this venting design that's, you can see through the windows of the hilt. And then it leads to the bottom, in which, with the pommel, you can either have it squared or square flattened. Now, the neat thing is, from what I've seen, many other of their sabers have the same size in terms of diameter. So you're able, if you have other Ultra Saber weapons, you're able to swap out the bottoms if you want to go for a different look, a different feel. Now, another nice feature, the Covert Tech button. Now, normally, it could only be on one side or the other. The nice thing is I could unscrew this, twist it, and I could put that button wherever I want. So where normally if you're saying, oh, I want it on my, say, left side, well, it's going to be on the left side, end of story. You can't switch it out. Here, you're able to switch it over, so if you want to wear it on your right side, you wear it on your left side. This gives you the ability to play around with how you want to carry it. Now, let's get into the LED driver. To gain access to the LED driver, you unscrew the pommel, and underneath, you have your battery pack, and on your battery pack is the access to your driver. You simply plug it in, now that it's plugged in, I could go over to the LED controller, and I'm going to just pull out some already established, saved fonts that I liked. If I was looking for something blue, as you can see, I now have a blue saber with a pulse going on. Now, I pre-made a lot of my own fonts, so just in case I needed, with the Jedi groups, to be a Jedi, Sith, I have already pre-established color schemes that I like. So this is the blue with pulse effect on it. Now, if I wanted to do something, let's see, let's take a look at orange. Again, you get a nice orange color with a nice pulse going on. Now, you can play around with any of the colors. So you could really play around with how deep you want your orange, how white you want your pulse effect. But again, you could see in terms of the combinations that you're able to do, you could go in terms of some really interesting color combinations. Let's take a look at a few other colors. So how do you operate this thing? First you go to Connect, and then you go to File, and I'm going to just open up one of my saved files in terms of the fonts. Let's go over to purple. Now, I've seen with some sabers that are on the web, sometimes purple becomes problematic, in which it becomes more red or blue. But with this, you're able to control the depth of your colors, so you really have a chance to really make a good purple color that you might not be able to find beyond just a string of LEDs that you might find with other companies. And for our last color, I figure, how can we not do at least one major Sith color? So let's take a look at red. Now the red is, I have to say, a nice deep red. Now the pulse does lighten up the colors a little bit depending on the intensity of your pulse. Like I have here a very strong white pulse, so it kind of lightens up the red a little bit. I'll show you what the red looks like standard, just if you just wanted a red blade. But again, it gives you the pulse effect. Now you can again play around with the extent of the pulse effect. So let me show you a slow pulse. As you can see, I picked colors close to it, and you can see it's just a very subtle, it kind of stays and then kind of pulses out a little. So you could play around with the timing of your pulse. Again, I'll just show you a different pulse. Again, you could go very quick, or you could go very slow. So for my final, I'll just bring it back to my color that I was using a moment. Actually, I will show you what some colors without the pulse looks like. So let's just show you red without a pulse. So you have a really deep red. Now again, if you just want to see how playing around with the colors, I just slid it to red. If I want to throw in blue, I could test out some of the colors. That's red and blue at the highest level. You have 255 points of color choice with each bar. So you're able to really play around with. Now I added a little green to that, and then I'll add some white. So you want a white blade, you want a colored blade. You have a lot of different combinations that you can choose from. So I'm going to just go back and set this as default, or I should say my default, which is green. And you're going to find that as you start playing around with the colors, you just want to sit around and just start just playing with the toolbars and just seeing what the combinations you can make from this. So then, once you've selected your color and you wrote it to your saber, you then turn off the program. That's very important. You want to turn off the program, and then you're free to unplug your saber from the computer. Now you could use, sometimes wrap or whatnot. I sometimes just use a little bit of bubble wrap just to kind of reduce the number of, or the amount of jostling that the saber might have. And then I'm going to just reattach the pommel. And there you have it. You have a truly adaptable and adjustable lightsaber. You could choose any color you want. You have two different blade emitter pieces, something a little more aggressive or something a little less. It does play around with the weight a little bit, so you're able to find a balance point. Again, it's very sleek and elegant. It has a soft, gentle curve. You have these contoured pieces and that blue into silver. A really good look. If you have any other questions, please contact Ultra Sabers, or please swing by the New York Jedi page on Facebook or Google, or you could also look me up at Empire Saber Guild, part of Saber Guild, or Rebel Legion. I belong to a charity costume organization. So if you have any other questions, please contact me, and have a great day. Hope this helped you understand their new Mantis.